Okay, right, and that's where we'll take a break. We'll have more discussion in a moment or so.
Cheers.
Welcome back. We're trying to pick our best Four Nations 11 in the company of Tommy Docherty, who of course played and managed for Scotland, Peter Nicholas, the former Welsh captain, and Billy Bingham, who played and managed Northern Ireland. And this is what we've come up with so far. And as you were saying, Tommy, during the break there, the frightening thing is the names that get a mention and are not in. But this is what you've got so far. You've got Pat Jennings, Johnny Carey, John Charles, Alan Hansen and Dennis Irwin so far. And some good players, some very good players, haven't got anywhere near. But let's pick four across the middle then. Where are we starting, Billy? Right side?
I think right wing.
What are we going with? Wingers or
we're going with
a
wingers.
more solid four?
Wingers, right and left wing.
Right and left wingers.
Right.
Peter,
On a
are you happy to
4-4-2,
play
yeah.
like that? Yeah?
Yes.
Tommy, you'll go with that?
Yeah.
Good
I'm a
width?
wingers man. I love wingers. Wonderful to watch.
That is fair. Copple and Hill. And, yeah.
Right, can I throw some names at you?
Yes, you may indeed. Let's go right side, shall we?
Well, I also think about wingers scoring as well as making goals. So I'm going to throw some names in that have scored goals as well,
Right.
which is important in forward
Yes.
play. Right wing, Republic of Ireland, I think, two come to mind. Houghton, who's played for a number of years on the right side.
Ray Houghton.
Ray Houghton. And Ringstead, a name that's been forgotten.
Sheffield United.
Yes, very good right winger who scored 8 goals for the
Alf
Republic of Ireland
Ringstead.
in maybe 20 odd games. Very good record. Of course, Northern Ireland, there's only one Best, I think, and we consider him.
You'd go right side with George Best, would you?
Actually, I would go right side
Right
with George
side.
Best, but I'm going to mention Wales as well because I played against very fine players in Medwin
Kerry.
and Tapscott
Derek Tapscott.
on the right side, and Scotland particularly, Leggett, Waddell of Rangers, and Johnson, Jimmy Johnson
Jimmy
of
Johnson.
Celtic,
Celtic.
and Alex Scott of Rangers probably. There's 4 more to deal with, so there's about 12 odd wingers.
Who would have been
to
your
deal with.
favourites, Peter?
Well, if we're on the left-hand side, then I'm going to have to go for Cliffy Jones. But
This is the right side.
yes, on the right side, I think I have to go for George Best.
On that right-hand side, which
Yes.
would give you a chance to play Jones left, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Tommy, any Scots?
There's only one.
What?
Yeah.
Tom Finney at Preston North End.
You can't have him.
Okay, I'm going again.
He's
I'm
English, you
such
see.
a
You see,
fan.
that
Sorry,
shows where your mind is, doesn't it?
No. I got carried away with all the names you were mentioning.
You're an Anglophile.
Jimmy Johnson wasn't a big goal scorer, you know. Great player,
No,
wonderful player,
that's
but wasn't
right.
a prolific goal scorer. Another was Willie Waddle.
No, he wasn't. Only 6 international goals. Willie
See, it's
Waddle.
frustrating, isn't it? All you
Yeah,
start to get
I got 6
mindful of
I don't know why,
names.
but
can't have him in this team.
I always put Bestie on the left for some unknown reason. I don't know why I do that.
I think most people would, you know, but would it be right that he was more right-sided than he was left? He made himself...
He just went out and played, really,
He's
didn't he, Billy?
He was two-footed. I mean, I played him anywhere where he liked to roam.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly.
Just let him go.
I think we've done
Let him free.
programmes
I
with
get
him
him
when
free.
he's been
No.
honest enough to admit that he was right-footed mainly,
Yeah.
but worked on the left and
Stevie
like
Coppell.
you.
Stevie Coppell was a great player.
But you can't
Yeah,
have him in
he's
this team.
English.
again.
He's
Keep
English.
coming back.
He's English. We're talking about
struggling.
Jimmy Johnston?
He's Scottish.
Jimmy Johnson, Leggett, Waddle.
I'm trying to get a Scotsman and an Englishman.
I think Houghton's a problem because Houghton's not really an out-and-out winger
No,
type.
or a prolific goal scorer,
No.
is he?
No.
He's had about 10 goals.
Was at international level?
Yes, the best is 9.
I'm not going to argue with you
But
because you've
George
done a
missed
lot
a lot
of
of
homework,
games.
I know.
George missed a lot of games for injury.
Medwin had 8.
Yes.
Very
Yeah, Medwin was
good
a fair
record.
player.
What about 2 more from Scotland? Charlie Cook, John Robertson?
Charlie was a magnificent player, but not a big goal scorer. No, he was never a prolific goal scorer.
Well, Billy made the point that he would be happy to take goals from them as well,
Well,
but they don't
yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
have to
no,
contribute.
that's
so,
correct, that's correct,
you know, that
yeah.
would be a bonus. I mean, if you fancy either of those, you can put them forward. You want
I want George Best.
you want
Yeah.
Bestie on the right-hand side?
Yes.
Bestie on the right.
Peter Lorimer, Leeds United.
Peter Lorimer.
Yes, good player.
Prolific goal scorer.
Yeah, good
But
scorer.
not in the same class as Best.
No.
As the player. Yeah,
Best,
I think
best
he'd
for
be-
me.
Best
yeah,
on the right.
Yes, but yeah,
Best on the right,
Yeah, I'll go
okay.
for that. I'll go along with that one.
Okay, all right, we'll go George Best then. Are we going left now
Left
before
wing.
we go on?
Yes,
Yeah.
left wing.
All right,
Can I throw some names at you?
You
Yes.
may.
Certainly can.
you've got most of them there.
Republic
Billy,
of
so you might
Ireland.
as
No,
well.
Billy, no English. No English.
Eglinton, Republic of Ireland.
Tom Eggleton.
Yes. Haverty, Republic of Ireland. Highway, Republic of Ireland.
Steve Highway.
Right.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland, McParland. I think he's the one outstanding one on the left
Peter.
side. Wales, Cliff Jones. 15 goals in international matches. Terrific record. James, Leighton James.
Yeah.
Yes.
10 goals. Giggs,
Ryan Giggs, has he done enough yet? Does he
No.
qualify in this
3
company
or 4
yet?
goals?
What do you
He's
think?
scoring some good. He's going to be he's an exciting player.
Yeah, he's
I
not-
think
he-
he's a
again,
future. He's going to be a future great.
He's
not
missed a
getting
lot of
away
games for
from it.
Wales as well, hasn't he?
Yes, he
Because
has.
of injury.
Leighton would pick himself, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's not
I'm
getting
sure.
away from
First, he put himself first, not
Yes.
just to pick
But
himself.
has a fair record.
it. Yes, he has. Excellent. You know, he's got
10 goals.
Yes, he
Terrific
has.
I
record.
remember the first day he cut it.
And Tommy, the Scottish team, Liddell,
Mhm.
wonderful left winger for
Yes.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Cooper, Rangers.
Davy.
And one people tend to forget now, John Robertson of
That's
Notts
right.
Forest.
Yeah, we just mentioned him, John Robertson.
8 goals.
Yeah.
He's the highest scorer in Scotland. On the
Does he
left wing.
keep company like this in an all-time Four Nations 11, John Robertson?
Well, I think he was a kind of he came late on.
Well,
as I said,
developer,
isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cloughy's got to get full credit for
yes,
that. I mean,
excellent. Yes, he was.
He wasn't an empty barrack, wasn't until Cloughy got hold
I
of him.
don't think he had too many caps for Scotland, John Robertson,
No.
did he?
Jock Steen picked him. Jock was a big
Mhm.
fan of his.
Davy Cooper, there's a name as well.
Great
He was a
Excellent
player, wasn't he?
player.
I'll throw in another Scottish international player. Eddie Gray of Leeds United.
Eddie Gray, yes.
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 Having a great goal scorer.
Tommy Hutchison?
Not a scorer of goals.
Doesn't need to be.
No, but I mean, it's not half helpful, you know.
Oh, I concede that, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Scottish trademark, isn't it? Wingers.
15 goals, Cliff Jones.
I go with Cliff Jones.
Cliff Jones?
15.
Yeah, go on to get another Welshman on the side, but you must help me later on, Peter.
No problem. No problem.
Cliff Jones, is
Cliff
it?
Jones is
Okay, Cliff Jones goes in there.
And now you've got right in the
Right,
midfield.
okay. Now we've got two wingers to join our back four. We've got George Best right side. We've got Cliff Jones left ahead of Carey, Charles Hanson and Owen, and Pat Jennings in goal. Now what about the two in the middle? And this could
Be a
this
difficult
could go
one.
on for a while.
Yeah.
Go on, Billy, throws a few.
Right. Republic of Ireland, Giles,
Yeah.
Roy Keane,
Yeah.
if you want, present day. McElroy, Northern Ireland. O'Neill, Northern Ireland. McElroy, McElroy this time.
Sammy.
First one, Jim. The last one, Sammy. Old Church of Wales.
Either.
Burgess of Wales. Scotland,
Yoreth
Mackay,
and Peter Nicholas of Wales.
possibly.
Tommy? No.
Mackay, Scotland.
Souness.
Bobby Johnson,
Billy
Souness.
Bremner.
Bobby Johnson,
Don
Scotland.
Masson.
Collins of Scotland. Souness of Scotland. So there's a
Bremner.
Rake of Scotland.
Rake.
Bremner.
there's a big that was right midfield. Rate was left, wasn't he, Tom?
Yeah, well,
More-
yeah.
yeah.
But I like to play on the right and come in with
Yeah.
the left peg, you know.
So that's a very hard one. I know
Yeah.
what
Not
I've
half.
gone for.
Not half. I mean, there's some great players there, isn't there?
I've gone for the largest scorer again from midfield. Guess who?
Gemmell.
No,
Archie Gemmell.
the Welshman Old Church.
Either.
23 goals
Yeah.
international. match.
My first cap was against him.
Terrific
and he scored.
record. Peter.
He scored
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent record.
Terrific.
on your debut.
He scored my debut at Hampden, Ivor, against me.
Terrific.
Would he keep this company in your opinion?
Yes, very much.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful player.
What about Dalglish in midfield?
Yeah, great.
No.
No,
You know,
up
he
front.
used to play on and
Yeah,
off.
but up front. Douglas.
Yeah, we got some good forwards to come as well.
Yeah, not half.
We have got
That's
some
what's
forwards
worrying
to
us.
come. That has caused some problem in this
Yeah.
series at different times. It really has. But there's some great players got to mention there. Dave Mackay. I mean, what sort of character was he?
World class. Winner.
Absolutely.
Absolute world class.
You
But
have the
more
odd
left
tussle with
side,
him?
Tommy? Was
Beg
it?
pardon?
More left side?
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Right or left. Two great feet. Two naturally.
Did he play for Spurs on the left side and Blanchard played right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he just, you know, he played for Scotland right half, left side midfield. Just beautiful first time pass.
Billy Bremner? Liam Brady,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Liam Brady.
Liam
Well,
Brady
You're
there,
on,
didn't
you're
you?
on the right side. now. You're
Yeah.
on the
Well,
left.
I mean, all these names. go
Yeah,
into this.
but you see, we did right wing, left wing.
Okay,
we're on
fine,
right
all right,
midfield.
then if we're going on-
a right midfield
All right.
basis.
Okay, on the right side of midfield then.
Right side midfield. Again,
Souness.
Giles, Keane, McElroy, two McElroys, O'Neill, Old Church, Burgess, Mackay, Bobby
Over Old
Johnson,
Church, there's another
Collins,
Welshman get in there then?
Souness.
Souness. You
I-
had the odd confrontation with him, didn't you?
I had quite a few with him. Yeah, he was an excellent player. He things weren't going right for him. He knew how to mix it to kind of change it around a little bit.
Yes, we have
But he was an
noticed- we have
excellent
noticed, Peter.
Was he better at centre midfield than right midfield, do you think?
Well, there again, I know we're talking about scoring goals,
Yes.
and you can't score goals all the
No.
time. You need defenders.
He could
high.
catch you anywhere though, couldn't he?
Yes, he could.
And did.
He
Right
scored
or
goals.
left?
And did.
Yes, but I think you need somebody to hold in there and
Yes.
look at the left-sided players
Sure.
we're thinking of.
Right.
I think Souness would be mine.
It would be fair to say Souness
He
left
goes-
his mark on your career, wouldn't it?
Would you
Quite a big mark.
Repeatedly, yeah, repeatedly.
would you go in for the whole church in that?
I would have Allchurch on the left-hand side, but
He's giving a
all
little
right.
bit. He's
That's
giving a
okay.
little,
his bet.
Peter's
That's
giving a
okay.
little bit of sugar, Billy, to get a little bit back left.
I'll tell you what, Billy, if he's opened up that debate, do you want to throw a few more names in for the left side?
I will
and maybe
do.
we'll just shuffle these
I
around
will
and
do.
come up with...
Right, I will do, because I
Brady
think
must come.
Brady and Sheedy, Republic of Ireland.
Yes,
Blanchflower, Peacock, Northern Ireland. Roy Paul of Wales, and let's not forget Roy Paul. Brilliant
yeah.
player.
Right,
Baxter of Scotland.
Jim. Yes.
Outstanding player.
Son Jim.
So there's a
Yeah.
few more. Add that to the right side of the ones you've talked about, and you've got to come up with a combination of Allchurch, Blanchflower, Allchurch, Souness, or whoever you want
Yeah.
in there.
Who were the best that you ever managed?
Midfield.
I mean, what was a fairly regular midfield for you when you were in charge of Scotland?
Bremner. Billy Bingham was my captain. Archie Gemmell. He's a Hartford.
Asa Hartford, yes. There's
Another
another one.
tremendous little player.
Yeah.
That was basically Kenny, as Peter says, sometimes dropped back and helped us down the middle of the park, but mostly he played up Kenny. But yeah,
Fairly strong-willed characters as well. Was the dressing room interesting in those days?
yeah, great. They're all winners, and could play, and could dig, and could get forward.
Are we looking for a balance in the midfield?
Yes, I think
Tom?
you've got to be.
We're saying Allchurch gets 23 goals. Now, should
Yeah.
the other guy be a guy that sits a wee bit more?
well, that's what I'm saying. With the
Well, Peter's just
Souness would
said,
be
yeah.
ideal for that.
So, you go with Souness with Allchurch, would you?
I would, yes.
Souness and Allchurch.
I'm not so sure.
I would go for
Sorry, Tommy, go
I
ahead.
would go for Souness and Brady.
Right. Brady didn't get all that many goals. I go for Allchurch. And who's it?
Peter
Mackay.
Nicholas and
Mackay.
Allchurch. What's wrong with that?
I go for Allchurch and Mackay.
Allchurch and Mackay.
Yeah, Allchurch scores the goals from midfield. Mackay sits in a wee bit more.
He got a few
That's a
goals.
nice way of phrasing what Dave Mackay could do.
But it's very similar to what Peter's actually said, because he's gone for Souness with Allchurch.
Yes.
And that's a similar
Nice blend there.
situation.
No Brady.
No, not for me.
He's
Only
like,
goals.
I wouldn't be adverse to Souness and Baxter. Nice blend as well, just like Baxter.
Are you a fan of Brady's?
Yes, very much so. Great player.
Yeah, we're all fans of Brady's, but
I'm a fan of great
looking
players.
Well, I
at
know you've
how
got
you
to
get the
make a
goals.
decision. Did Slim Jim do it long enough and often enough
Do what?
at
No.
the top level?
Oh, something else there. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't do it often enough at top level. But on song, he was a joy to watch. But I think Brady did it regularly, on a regular basis. It was
Okay.
great to watch.
Peter, for you, Allchurch has got to go in, hasn't he? I think
Yes,
there's no
I think so,
debate
yes.
about
I
that
think
at all.
it, even the modern day players now,
23 goals.
23
Can't
goals.
argue with
it's-
that.
You can't argue with that. You know, I would always put Robertson in my England team because he scored goals. So
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Exactly.
it's Allchurch is a must.
Ivor Allchurch, is that a decision? Is he
Yes.
going in? Right or
Definitely,
left in your
no.
team?
He would be right in my team.
He'd
Right.
be left in mind.
Left in yours, Peter?
I just want him to
Well,
play.
you've actually, well, let's put him right, because that gives you some flexibility on your
Yeah.
left midfield, doesn't
Sure.
it? There's a
Right.
few to go in there yet.
Sure.
So let's put Ivor Allchurch there, then in on the right midfield. Who are you going to have left?
Well,
Mackay?
there's a huge string. I mean, I like Blanchflower personally,
Blanchflower?
because he's such a good playmaker. But there's a toss-up between Blanchflower and Mackay for me.
Yeah.
There's a tug somewhere in there.
Why are none of the modern day players getting much of a mention here again? There's Hansen and Owen. Beyond that, not too many, is there?
Well, I think the talent's there for to see the class of players that we're looking for.
What about Mark Lawrenson in midfield, where he played
No.
on a number of occasions for Liverpool?
No,
and
no,
the
very,
Republic?
very rarely. Richard, no, I think he was at the back was tremendous. But midfield, what you're doing, you're making a gap for him just to include
Steve
him in the
Staunton?
side.
That's a name that hasn't yet
Yeah,
come
no,
up.
yeah, but left. I think of Steve Staunton as a left full back.
Left back.
So who's going in
How-
there then?
No, sorry.
I
Roy
think
Keane,
this is a hard one for us. Personally,
Giles.
I
Well, you mentioned Giles
I
earlier,
would
he
go
never
for
got another
Mackay.
mention.
I wouldn't argue with you.
And the other choice I would have would be Blanchflower. In terms
Okay,
of
you're just
defending.
frightened of Dave Mackay. That's why you want him in.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. But he could play.
He could play.
Great.
I know I've got the marks to show.
Well, you've got Allchurch in.
Yes.
And I'm
I'll go with-
I think we're both quite happy with Ulch.
All happy with
yeah.
Allchurch.
Yeah.
Is Dave Mackay going in there alongside him?
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
Peter?
Yes,
So take Dave Mackay.
definitely.
Dave Mackay. All right, let's have a look now what we've got. Well, there's not too many going to argue with him, is there? That's